backbone of this country is the independent truck. The power of the trucker comes from his truck. 72.5% of all freight transported in the US is hauled by a truck. Without trucks, the country comes to a standstill. My name is StopSign49, lifelong trucker enthusiast. Recently, I raised enough money doing odd jobs to buy my own truck and start my own trucking company, Get It To Ya. And now, I was about to pick up my first real, honest-to-God trucking job. And it's a big one, a dangerous one that will put my name in headlines across the country. I'm taking a job from Coastline Mining, hauling nearly 17 tons of dynamite from Stockton to Barstow. Two towns that I don't think actually exist. But hey, duty calls. I'm just a nomad, blowing in the wind, taking any job that comes my way. Except there were like 300 jobs listed here and I specifically wanted to do the dynamite one. The only problem was I was stationed in Las Vegas to satiate my crippling addiction to gambling and Penn and Teller magic shows, so I had to head out to Stockton ASAP. I left my garage at 10:45 p.m. I couldn't wait until morning. I was so excited that I just had to get out now. Imagine me, a simple trucker, hauling 17 tons of volatile material, the threat of ignition looming over me every second across the beautiful Golden State. Unfortunately, when I bought this truck used, I didn't pay much mind to the broken CD player the seller warned me about. I don't even own any CDs because I'm always out trucking, so I didn't really care. However, when I started up the truck, I found out what he really meant by this. The dude had a kid who loved riding in the truck with him, so he would always bring along a Wiggles CD to keep the little scamp entertained. However, when the CD player broke, it made removing the Wiggles CD impossible. Furthermore, it's permanently stuck on the repeat function, and worst of all, it won't turn off. If the truck is on, then it's fruit salad time. The volume doesn't work either, so I can't even turn it down all the way. Yeah, I probably should have taken this thing for a test drive before buying it. What are you gonna do? To be honest though, the 500-mile trip to Stockton was rather uneventful. I was just in such a rush though that I was speeding. A lot. I ended up totally slamming this guy's bench just because I was going too fast. His fault for putting it there. What was he doing? Watching the intersection for fun? What a freak. But my reign of terror soon came to an end thanks to the fuzz. Look at this shit. This pig was going way too slow for a 70-mile-per-hour zone. And yes, I may be a devoted follower of the highway rules and lifestyle, but I will never respect cops. That's why I call them pigs, because I hate cops. Anyway, I was going to pass him, which is allowed because the road has a funny dashed yellow line instead of the intimidating solid double line. So I'm passing him, not even going that fast, and then BAM! We immediately cross over into a 50-mile-per-hour zone, and he decides to charge me 3,000 bones out of sheer spite. I wanted to pull over and give him a piece of my mind, but I cooled down, thinking that if I went to prison, who would deliver that dynamite? Coastline Mining needed me. I let the Australian twang of Greg Page's voice calm me as I continued onwards. But one Barney wasn't going to stop me from getting to that dynamite in record time. I kept speeding once he was gone, and that's why soon after I got charged another 4,000 bones. These cops had a grudge against me, a perfectly law-abiding citizen. The only illegal things I'd ever done in my life were buying a bootleg DVD of Rango, which I didn't even do on purpose, and tearing the tag off of a mattress because I wanted to prove a point to someone. I'm honestly shaking admitting all this stuff, but I can't be a good trucker if I'm not an honest trucker. That still didn't stop me though. It just made me want to speed more to assert my power over these lowly flatfoots. I started going 50 over. I was in a truck. What were they gonna do? Well, to be honest, this time I got a little nervous. That scary double yellow line was preventing me from passing this cop, who again was going as slow as possible just to be a dick. And it took ages until I finally saw a beautiful dashed yellow line, allowing me to pass this MF. I still had to go slow afterwards, but I finally found a nice shield to pass and keep the copper away from me, allowing me to start flying again. I flew so fast, in fact, that I missed my next turn. Who the fuck builds a road like this? Jesus. The drive got pretty dicey here. I was in a twisty-turny mountain pass that was apparently prone to rock slides. One wrong move could send me careening to the bottom of the cliff, taking my life and, more importantly, costing me this job opportunity. Outside Oakdale, I started to get really bored with the drive. I tried to spice things up by sitting on top of the cabin, hanging out of the door, and tying myself to the front of the truck. But alas, none of these helped cure my boredom. The other problem was I was getting pretty tired. I mean, I left at 10:45, that's my bedtime. The only thing keeping me from catching 40 winks at 20 over the speed limit was the thumping bass of fruit salad. I hit a point in the drive where I actually started to think the song was kind of fire, but now I was barely even registering it as music. I think I could still hear the yummy yummies in my head. I was getting aggressive too. I didn't want to wait for road work. I had to get to that job! Soon, the sun was rising. I had stayed up all night for the first time since high school, and I felt like shit. How do people do this regularly? I was really starting to get groggy, nearly missing my entrance onto the freeway. Also, this happened. Don't worry about how I got out of it. But finally, at 6:45 a.m., exactly 8 hours after leaving, I arrived at Coastline Mining. Finally, I was ready to start my journey as a bona fide dynamite deliverer. Except by the time I got there, somebody else already took the dynamite. I was furious. I was livid. But I did drive all the way out here, so I took the only job they had, delivering silica to Oxnard, that fat dude from Hamtaro. I was so pissed. Who cares about silica? That shit you find in your shoes that you're not allowed to eat? A bunch of ground up quartz? Not even explosive. Nobody gives a shit if you haul 10 tons of silica. I was defeated, demotivated, and depressed. I couldn't even leave the facility properly because I was so sad and tired. I hit the highway and began my boring job delivering boring silica. It was extremely uneventful. This is exactly what trucking isn't about. However, something did end up happening less than an hour into the trip. Tragedy. Disaster. My engine malfunctioned, causing me to careen off the road. Naturally, I was going 25 over the speed limit, so all I could do now was brace for impact. Turns out, though, I actually kind of took a shortcut there. I was just cutting corners is all. Just a bump in the road. We were back on track. That is until another pig cut me off, just to immediately pass back into his lane. They were toying with me. They knew about my broken state. I was going to catch this one, and truly give him a piece of my mind. But then, oh no, the sleep took over. I started dozing off, and then...
It's fun to do, it's a healthy way on your plane. Now we've made it, it's time to...
Eventually my truck loosened its way out of the bridge, as is common in these types of accidents. But then I got stuck again trying to get out. This time, I was completely stuck within the concrete. My truck was sealed in its new cement casket. I had no choice but to abandon ship. And that's the story of the great silica truck left in ruin in the river right outside Stockton. Coastline Mining was naturally pretty pissed about the missed delivery, but I owe nothing to them. They betrayed me. Everyone in this country has stabbed me in the back. And so, I will no longer serve you. I will vanish. I've been relaying this tale from a remote location. In fact, I've been hiding more than just my location from you. Time to reveal my true identity. Voice changer off!
That's right. I've deceived you all. I'm not just a master of truck driving. I'm a master of disguise. I could be anywhere. I could be anybody. So don't think you've won, Coastline Mining. You may have retrieved your 20,000 pounds of silica, but you'll never catch me.